Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. I am happy to be guiding us through this yoga practice that is going to focus on our shoulders, so building a little bit of strength as well as working through some mobility and flexibility in those joints. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and set yourself up. I don't have any props today, so you don't need anything if you don't have, but if you'd like to use a couple of blocks or straps, please feel free and grab a couple of those. And when you're ready, we are going to meet in a child's pose. So meeting in Balasana, our big toes are going to connect and we'll split the knees about mat width apart. From there you can extend the arms outward towards the top of the mat and just allow the belly to rest in between the thighs. The arms extending forward will lengthen out through the sides of the body. And just allow the head to rest into the mat. So that gentle pressure on the forehead, right where it connects to the hairline, is going to activate our parasympathetic nervous system. So that combats the fight or flight mode and taps into the rest and digest, where we can sort of slow things down before we get moving. And take this opportunity to become a bit more aware of the breath and how we're feeling in the body today. So breathing deeply in through the nose. And then on your next exhale, I want you to soften everything. So create a little bit more space between the back teeth. Soften the temple, forehead. And then on your next inhale, begin to breathe into the back body. So the space in between the shoulders. And then all the way into the back of the ribs, and let that round out into the sides of the body. And then on your next exhale, put a little bit more pressure into the finger pads and the hips a little bit further back. So breathe into the belly, and then let that breath move into the back body. And then exhale, soften and release tension. One more time like that. Breathing in. And all the way out. Start to walk the elbows in a little bit closer towards the temple. And then bend at the elbows so the palms can connect overhead. From there, you might walk the elbows a little bit further forward as you're hugging the temples in with your arms, your upper arms. And press the palms together in prayer overhead. And feel that nice stretch into the side of the body and into the tricep. And you might sort of floss the hands back and forth here, feeling the movement that creates in the back. And then we'll extend the arms out in front of us and start to activate your child's pose by walking the fingers forward and letting the elbows lift. You can have the shoulders rise up to the ears here. And then on your next breath in, pull yourself up into tabletop. We'll slide the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips. And then tuck the toes to help lift the heels and then lift the heart. Tilt the pelvis forward, so this anterior tilt to the pelvis. And you can bring the gaze up, broaden through the collarbone. And then as you exhale, untuck the toes, so press the toenails down, and then draw the chin towards the chest as you hook the tailbone towards the chin. And we'll do that a couple more times, breathing in, toes tuck, belly lift, belly softens and heart lifts. And then as you exhale, round, think like an angry cat, so lift up the space behind the heart. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. And then we'll simply sit back onto our shins. If you have a block or a cushion and you want to sit on that, you're more than welcome to. We're going to work a little bit more through the sides of the body, through the spine. Take an inhale, take the arms up to the sky. And just simply twist towards the right. So you're going to take your left hand just outside of your right thigh, and then land your right fingers to the mat just behind your toes or your hips. You can also place your right hand to the back of your hips as well. Soften the shoulders down and think of breathing in to lift up through the crown of the head. And breathing out to twist a little bit deeper. One more time like that, breathing in and breathing out. We'll unravel, come back to center, and then twist towards the other side. Try to avoid the shoulders crunching up towards the ears, so soften them away. Think of creating a little bit more space around the neck. And then we'll come back forward, arms reach up. And then just bend at the elbows so the palms of the hands are facing forward. And then you can kind of draw the shoulder blades together behind you like you're squeezing a pencil between the scapula. And then you're going to lift the chest up towards the chin, and then you can bring the gaze up. Open through the heart center. Take another breath here. Stay with the breath out. And then with your next inhale, take the biceps back by the ears into our tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. We'll move forward into our Anutahasana, or puppy pose. So you're going to do your best to keep the knees underneath the hips as you extend the arms forward. So it's sort of like child's pose, but you're lifting in the hips. And you can either bring the forehead down in between the biceps, and if space permits and it doesn't put any pinching or pain in the neck and the shoulders, you can bring the chin down and bring the gaze forward. Tilt the pelvis towards the earth like we do in that cow spine when we arc the back. So the sitting bones are reaching up. And just like in child's pose, I want you to think of wrapping the upper arms towards the earth. Reconnect to the breath whenever possible. And slowly start to walk the hands back in. We're going to keep the hands about a handprint's distance ahead of us, so not directly underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes and then press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Especially if this is your first down dog of the day, it can feel really nice to pedal out the legs. So you might bend one knee at a time as you reach that opposite heel down and move through that movement a few times. Waking up the posterior chain, the hamstrings. And then we'll find some stillness in our down dog. And I always like to just check in with my stance and my alignment in down dog. So let's move forward into our high plank. Our hands are going to stand under the shoulders and the heels will be stacked over the toe mounds. Reach the crown of the head forward, strong in the core. And then hook your navel up towards your spine and lift just your hips back without moving your hands or your feet, and that will bring us into our down dog. You might need to keep a bit of a bend in your knees to help lengthen through the spine, and that's fine. If your heels don't touch down today, that is totally okay. The intention is there, but it's not necessary. Take a deep breath in, and then sigh it out through the mouth. We'll bend our knees quite a bit here, looking forward, and then step to the top of the mat. Finding your way into a forward fold, the feet underneath the hips. Once you land forward, slide your hands up to your shins or your thighs. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. And then exhale, fold down in two. Pressing through the feet, will rise up, take the arms up to the sky. And then draw your thumbs to heart center. Root through the feet, inhale, sweep the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. And like we did before in our shins, we're going to bend at the elbows, crack the heart open to the sky. Squeeze that pencil between the shoulder blades so you're opening up through the heart. And then release the arms back behind you and interlace the fingers. If this is really tight for you in the shoulders, you could use a strap, or if you have a towel or anything, and just hold onto that with the hands. And then from there, you're gonna reach the fists, the knuckles down towards the space between the heels as you open through the heart once again. And then you can bend the knees slightly as you fold forward with that bind in the hands. Let the head get heavy. And then start to shift the weight from your heels into the toe mounds. Reach the sit bones to the sky and maybe sway the upper body, the arms from side to side. And then we'll release the fingertips to the earth just below the shoulders. Take an inhale to a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the hands and step back to your high plank. From high plank, come down to your right forearm and then to your left. Forearm plank. Crown of the head presses forward, the heels drive back. Pull the belly in. Take a full inhale. And simply lower the hips to the mat on your exhale. Toenails into the back of the mat, untucking the toes. Pull the heart forward like you're dragging your upper body through the gateway of your arms. Soften shoulders down. Broaden through the collarbones. And you can stay on your forearms in this Sphinx pose, or you can take the hands out a little bit wider and then lift the elbows as you lengthen the arms and lift the belly. A little bit more spinal extension here. Keep sliding the shoulders down. If you've lifted up, come back to the forearms, and then all the way down so the forehead taps to the mat. We're going to take the left hand just underneath the left shoulder and then straighten the right arm out to the right side, palm down. From there, we'll roll onto our right hip. And you can stack the left leg over the right. You can bend the knee out in front of you for added support. Or you can land the toes behind you, sort of like a kickstand. We'll take 3 breaths here. And if this is too much for you on the shoulder, you can always roll more towards the belly or maybe slide that arm down on a downward angle. And gently roll back to the belly, both legs long behind us. Right hand under the right shoulder, left arm straight out to the side. Roll to that left hip. And remember that when we're working with these ball and socket joints, so our shoulders and our hips, they're very intricate. And one side could feel quite a bit different from the other. So take your time to assess if you feel any pinching or pain on one side. Ease out, modify. You're looking to recreate the sensations from one side of the body and not recreate what the pose looks like. Rolling to the belly, both legs long behind us, hands underneath the shoulders. Press the toenails down, press the pubic bone down, pull the belly up, and then lift the heart forward and up, Bhujangasana Cobra. Maybe hover the hands away from the mat, so we're really using the strength of the spine and the back body to lift. And then lower the hands, the forehead. You can go through tabletop or press up to a high plank. And then from there, downward facing dog. Full breath in, slow breath out. From down dog, just lift the right leg up to the sky and then bend the knee and open your hip to the side. You can circle out that knee, the hip joint, maybe circle out the ankle a couple of times. Just make sure to change the direction of the circle, balancing out. And then re-extend the leg. Dial the pinky toe down, so level out the hips. Come high to the left tippy toes and draw your right knee towards the nose as you shift forward. Look between the thumbs and then land your right foot forward as you lower the left knee down. Low lunge, untuck the back toes, sweep the arms up by the ears. And like we did a couple times already, we'll bend at the elbows, crack the heart open. Reach the arms up to the sky, take a breath in. Plant the fingertips on either side of that front foot. Pull the heart forward, take an inhale. Shift the hips back into a half split, right leg long. Curl the right toes in, draw your right hip crease back. And then fold a little bit deeper over that right leg if that feels right for you. We'll re-bend the right knee, come back to our low lunge. Plant the hands and then lift that back knee, tucking the toes. Crescent lunge, we'll sweep the arms up by the ears. If you're feeling really wobbly, you might take that right foot out a little bit wider so you know that you have at least a hip width distance between that right foot and that back left foot. Contain the rib cage here as you lift the arms up to the sky. And then we'll T-twist to the left, or to the right rather. So left hand forward, right hand back. You might stay, or you might place your right hand to the back of the hips or your left thigh, and then sweep the left arm up, and then kind of come out of this twist by driving your right shoulder back forward to the top of the mat, and then lifting the heart up towards the chin. A little bit of a bend in that back knee can neutralize the pelvis here. And then think of rolling your left glute down a little bit more. And then we'll plant the left hand to the mat under the shoulder. Right arm lifts up to the sky. Close twist as you reach the right fingers up. Pick up the back of that left hip. And then plant your right hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. From down dog, let's shift forward to our high plank. Hold here, take a breath in. And a breath out. We'll come down to our left forearm and then our right. Forearm plank. Take a deep breath in and then lower the hips down. Untuck the toes, pull the heart forward, Sphinx pose. And then right away we'll come all the way down to our forehead. Take your fingertips just off of your mat at the same height as your shoulders and then point your elbows to the sky. Press the shoelace sides of your feet down as you start to peel the heart up. You can lengthen out through the arms slightly here. A little bit of a bend in the elbows so we're not locking out through the joints. And then you'll take your left shoulder down as you look underneath the right armpit. Inhale, come up to center. And then exhale, right shoulder to the mat. Breathing in to lift. Maybe you lengthen out a little bit more through the arms, a little bit more lift in the heart. And then all the way down, hands slide back under the shoulders. Tuck the toes through tabletop or your high plank to downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in here. Slow breath out. Left leg to the sky. And let's bend the knee so the hip opens. The inner knee is the highest point of the body. And if you created those circles on the right side, just do them again here. Creating balance. Changing the direction of the circle. And then re-extending that back leg, dialing the pinky toe down to level the hips. High to the right tippy toes. Knee to the nose as we shift forward. And then step through Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Untuck the back toes. Sweep the arms up. Let the hips settle down. And then on an exhale, bend at the elbows. Open the heart to the sky. Biceps by the ears. Take an inhale. Plant the hands to the mat. From here, we'll shift the hips back, Ardha Hanuman, half split. Pull the left hip back and wrap the outer right hip forward. And we'll come back into our lunge, planting the hands. Picking up that right knee, tucking the toe. From here, we're going to lift the arms up, come into our crescent lunge. Settle into that front knee. Remember, if you feel like you're coming forward with the pelvis, a bit of a bend in the right knee, and then kind of hook your right glute down. Right hand forward, left hand back, T-twist. Choose to stay, or reverse, taking left hand to hip or thigh, and then right arm to the sky. If you're going into that reverse, kind of untwist slightly, so reach the heart towards the top of the mat and then up towards the chin. Slowly, we'll take the right hand to the top of the mat. Easy twist, left hand to the sky, pick up the right hip. And then lower the left hand down, step back to your high plank. From high plank, we'll come to our forearms. So you can keep your arms, your upper arms in this 11 shape. Or if it's more accessible today, you can take the palms together. So you're creating more of a triangle with the upper arms. From there, start to lift the hips back and walk the feet in slightly into our dolphin pose. So it's the same action in the legs. The heels will likely be lifting away from the mat, and that's fine. Give spiraling the inner thighs to the back of the mat as well, and really push your forearms into the ground.
Take a full breath in here. Maybe you walk the feet in a little bit closer. Another breath here. And then walk the feet back. Find your way into your forearm plank. Take a full breath in. Lower the hips down. Come back to that 11 shape in the arms if you're not already there. Sphinx, or take the hands out wider and lift up into that little bit of a deeper spinal extension. And then lower down. Hands under the shoulders. Press up, tabletop or high plank. Downward facing dog. Full breath in. Slow breath out. From here, right leg up to the sky. Keep the hips level. Dial the pinky toe down. High to the left tippy toes. Take your right knee towards your nose. Step your foot through, and we'll come into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. So you're going to pivot the back heel down. Toes point to the left side of the mat, and settle into that front knee. You have a heel to heel alignment, or front heel intersects the back arch. Soften the shoulders. And make sure you're not caving in through that front knee, avoiding pressure on the outer knee joint. From here, we'll flip the right palm, and as you reach up and back with that right hand, you can straighten out through the right leg. Back into our Warrior 2. From here, let's interlace the fingers, so like we did at the beginning of our practice. If you're still tight in the shoulders and you have a strap or a towel, you can use that. Take an inhale to reach the knuckles towards the mat as you lift the heart towards the chin. And then we're going to fold towards the long edge of the mat here. You can lift your hands away from your hips, so any amount. And maybe you sway a bit side to side in the upper body. Lovely. We'll release the hands. Walk the hands forward. Pick up that back heel. Heel toe your right foot in between the thumbs. We're going to spring up to the top of the mat so you can straighten the front leg, a little bit of a bend in the back knee, looking forward, get a little bit bouncy in that back leg, and then plant your right foot, land the left foot next to the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root down to the feet, sweep the arms up and stand up tall. And then draw your hands to heart center. Take the arms up, breathe in. Bend at the elbows, create that cactus shape in the arms as you lift the heart. Take the arms back behind you. Interlace your fingers, bring that opposite thumb on top, so it's going to be the non-dominant way. It'll feel a little bit awkward. Take your inhale to lift and reach the knuckles down. And then your exhale to fold with the bind in the hands. Release fingers to the mat. Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Plant the hands down, step back to your high plank. High plank, we'll come down to our forearms. Remember, you can stay in that 11 shape with the arms, or you can bring the palms of the hands together. From there, lift the hips, walk the feet in any degree. So you might not need to move the feet too much before you start to feel that in the hamstrings. That's fine. Just actively push the forearms into the mat. Your shoulders can come up towards the ears. Spiral the inner thighs to the back. This time, if you want, take the feet side by side so the big toes are touching. And then maybe the right leg lifts to the sky. Dial the pinky toe down. Really fire up that right glute. Like push the forearms into the mat. Take another breath in. Maybe you lift that back heel just a tiny bit more. And then lower the foot down. Take a breath in. Breath out. Inhale, left heel up to the sky. Drive the heel back. Dial the pinky toe down. Lift up maybe just a little bit higher. Forearms press into the mat. Take an inhale. And then lower down. Walk the feet back, forearm plank. This time we're going to press up to a high plank, hands under the shoulders. And then we'll go back, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Slow breath out. From down dog, lift the left leg up to the sky. And then step your foot through. We'll open up warrior two, back foot flat. Lift the heart, shoulder stacked over the hips. Settle into that front knee. Strong in the legs. Think of the energy of your heels drawing inwards to the center of the mat. Let's lengthen out through the left side, reverse triangle. Flip the left palm, and as you reach back, straighten that left leg. Full breath in. On the exhale, we'll come back to our warrior two. Reach the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers. Lengthen the arms, the knuckles down towards the ground, lift the heart. Into this humble warrior, we'll fold over to the long edge of the mat. Let the head get heavy. Lift the hands any degree away from the hips. Maybe as we're warming up through the shoulders, you find a little bit more space each time. And then from here, release the hands. Walk them forward, come high to the back toes. We'll spring up to the top of the mat. You can straighten the front leg, a little bit of a bend in that back knee. Looking forward. And then spring up to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Root through the feet, take the arms up. Hands to heart center. Root down and rise. Right away, let's fold over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to your plank. From plank, lower the forearms down, forearm plank. Maybe palms come together if that's better for you today. And then walk the feet in, lift the hips, dolphin pose. You can stay here, this time maybe starting with that left leg, reaching up to the sky. Lower the foot down. Right leg can lift. And lower the foot down. Walk the feet back, high plank pose. And then all the way to the belly. Once you're on your belly, stack the arms. And then rest your forehead on the back of your hands or your forearm. Breathe into the belly. Let the back body lift and expand. And soften with the exhale. Full breath in. Slow breath out. One more time, breathing in. And breathing out. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Zip the legs up so big toes connect, knees together, thighs together. And then we're going to press back into a closed knee child's pose. So pressing the hips back towards the heels. From there, you can reach the arms back. So that way we can let the shoulder head sort of drip forward. We're creating a bit more space in the posterior side of the spine. And just balancing out all of that opening that we just did. Breathing in so the belly presses into the thighs. Breathing out to soften. Keep the chin drawing in towards the chest. And we're going to roll up one vertebra at a time. So just keeping that chin in, a little bit of rounding in the shoulders. Until your shoulders are nicely stacked over the hips, then you can soften them down and lift the chin parallel to the earth. Coming back to this seated position on our shins, Virasana. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. If you want to sit up on a cushion or a block, you can. We're going to just stay in this seated position for a little bit while we work a little bit more through the shoulders. So we're going to round out through the back a little bit more. So we're going to reach the arms up to the sky. And take the left arm underneath the right. So you have options here. You can either twist tie at the wrists, bringing the palms of the hands together. If that's a little bit too much, you can take the back of the hands together. Or you can even grab for the opposite shoulders with your hands. Whichever variation you're taking, I want you to lift your elbows up so they're around the same height as the shoulders. And then press the arms forward towards the top of the mat. Start to feel all that space that you're creating behind the heart.
And then with our inhale, we're going to lift the elbows up, tilt the pelvis forward, and then the gaze can come up towards the sky. And then as we exhale, pull the navel in and start to round, driving your elbows towards the belly. Inhale, we'll lift, create that spinal extension, gaze up. Exhale, round it in. Next time as we rise up and neutralize the spine, we're going to unravel the arms, reach them up to the sky. And then take that right arm or the opposite arm underneath. Either twist tight the wrist, grab for opposite shoulders. Find that level of elbows to shoulder height. Push the arms forward, breathe a little bit more volume behind the heart. And then your inhale lifts the elbows, lifts the gaze, and lifts the heart. And then as we exhale, we'll draw it all in, elbows to belly. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Unravel the arms, neutralize the spine, sweep the arms up by the ears. And then as you lower the arms to the side, you can roll out the wrists. Once the arms are heavy, lift the shoulders up to the ears. And then down and away. It might feel nice to do that a couple of times, rolling out the shoulder joints. And then switching the direction. Nice. Okay. We'll come all the way down onto our back here. So you can sit to one side. Take the legs out in front. And then bend the knees so the feet are flush to the mat. You can grab onto your shins if you want some support, or reach the arms forward, activating a bit more through the core, and then slowly rolling the spine into the mat. Let the thoracic, the midsection of your spine land, and the shoulders, and then the head. Once you land, draw the right knee in towards the chest, interlace your fingers over that right shin, and then slide the left leg long onto the mat. Really anchor the heel down and then squeeze the right thigh into the belly. Take a full breath in. Slow breath out. And then we're going to roll to that left hip so your left hand can come to the outer right knee. Stack the right hip over the left. Reach the arm out beside you like a T or elbow bent. And then slide the left shoulder out from underneath you. That way the right side can come a little bit closer to the mat for support. If this is a lot for you, you can always bend that bottom leg as well. So you're stacking the right leg over the left. And we'll breathe into the right rib cage. And keep breathing. So you're going to breathe through the twist. So expand through the right rib cage. And then keep breathing all the way down into the pelvis. And the gaze is wherever it's comfortable for you in the neck. It could be up. It could be a little bit more passive, left ear to the shoulder. Or if you want to invite that twist up to the cervical spine, to the neck, you can bring your right ear down, gazing away from the bent knee. Gently unravel. Recenter the hips, plant the feet down. Ardha Appanasana, so left knee draws in, right leg long. Full breath into the belly. Squeeze the thigh in. Into our supine twist, right hand to left knee. You can scoot the hips to the left side as you roll to the right hip. Slide the right shoulder out. Find your variation that suits you today. So these twists are a wonderful way to balance out spinal extension. We opened up through the front, the anterior side of the spine quite a bit today. So doing these twists can help neutralize the spine. Couple breaths here.
Come onto our back. Recenter the hips. You can draw both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug here. And press the back of the hips down here as you squeeze the thighs in and rock a bit from side to side. Maybe circle out the knees either together or apart. And when you are ready, we'll set up into our final posture, Shavasana. And that might look a little bit different for each of us today. Traditionally, we take it on our back, legs long, arms out by our sides, palms up. If you feel any pressure in the low back, please feel free to bend the knees, take the feet wide, and then let the knees knock in towards each other, creating more space in the sacrum. And if you prefer a seated meditation or a fetal position, go ahead and just focus on setting yourself up so you can find a few moments of complete stillness. All of the work that we do in our asana practice, that physical practice, is a pathway to bring us here where we could find comfort and ease and stillness. So I encourage you to stay for however much time you have. And only move off your mat when you're feeling ready. And before you move into the rest of your day, just silently thanking yourself for carving out the slice of time for your well-being, for self-love. And remember to carry that sense of peace with you off of the mat and into your day. Thank you for sharing your energy. I wish you a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste.